Matt Meehan here for IrishBoxing.com with the newly turned over pro with Queensberry, Frank Warren, Eoghan Lavin. Good afternoon. How's it going?
Good, good.
Just we're gonna get straight into it. 1-0 as a pro already in the famous Your Call. How was that first off?
Good. Yeah, I want to know against a good tough Russian opponents. He had a interesting record that sets me up nicely in the on the Irish side of things. So he had boxed one or two Irish lads before, I think. So yeah, it was good. Just good just to get the first one out of the way. Different experience. I know I've been known for big punch power. We didn't get a knockout that night. We didn't really go for a knockout. It was good to get the 4 rounds in. Um, we learned a lot. We learned a lot over that 4 rounds, and I learned a lot even around the camp, around the way the fights work, around everything like that. It is a different scene. But now we're well set up now for the next one.
Talking about your power, you're known for having power in those hands. Is there anything that you're focusing on in camp specifically with your power itself?
No, so kind of working on everything. One thing I can say with Anthony is I feel we're developing a massive all round game. Both on the front foot, back foot, wherever we need to be. I think we're working on everything. We do a good bit of power work. And Anthony likes to see me letting my hands go and letting some power behind the shots. But I have a good team, good setup here now. I'm working on power development with a guy called Mick Clegg. He was the Man United strength and conditioning guy for years and years. But he's very good. He knows boxing inside out. So we're working on some really very different things, trainings you wouldn't really see very often. A very different take on strength and conditioning, but um, I find it very good now in this camp. We didn't do it last camp. We just started working on it now 2 weeks ago. So we've seen big benefits already.
What's it like working with Anthony Corolla? He's an absolute legend of the game. Well schooled, a veteran, and I say it's something that you're very thankful for to have him in your corner, and you're learning loads every single day with him.
Yeah, look, there's a video I put up there earlier at the gym. Just to some of the fights so far this year, you got the likes of me, William, Rhiannon Dixon just won a world title. You know, Robbie Davies training in the
Yeah,
gym with extensive experience, and then Crawler just like he tops it all off. So Crawler obviously he's known for being sound,
yeah.
but his knowledge is inside out of the game. He reads the game very well. We just everybody kind of gels together very well in the gym, so we all learn and bounce off each other very well.
Mm,
So
mm,
day in day out, we can all see it weekly from one week to the next. You can just see massive
mm,
improvements in everybody.
mm. What's it like being in Frank Warren's stable as well? I say that, and yeah, and it was on a big stage as well that you got the announcement. It was on, I think it was on the announcement for the 5v5, which is obviously coming up
Mm.
on June 1st, and that's gonna be a great event within itself. But excluding
Mhm.
that, what was that like being at the event itself and seeing those fighters around you? Obviously, if Beaver, if correct me if I'm wrong, but Beaver and Bertabad were there as well. So I say it was getting introduced to that, getting and then seeing Frank himself. What was that like?
So when mine was actually announced on the AJ and Ngannou undercard,
Oh, sorry, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I was announced. So obviously I work with AJ and 258.
yeah.
So I was announced on their press conference originally, but like that, I'm around. Look, I've been around in and around some very big names of the sport.
Yeah,
I know Frank personally. I've met with Frank personally at his
yeah.
offices a couple of times. We have a good relationship. There's a good relationship between Queensberry, and they're building a very good relationship with 258, working on all the Saudi stuff. So look, it is an exciting time to be with Queensberry because they are making some big moves. I know some people might have thought they kind of fell the other direction for a couple of years there, but they really came back strong. And I know I just hearing speaking with them some of their plans for the next couple of years and their own plans for me personally that we spoke on is exciting. And once you sit down with Frank and George and talk about development, and when you sit back and just be quiet for a little while and let them talk about how they want to develop me, um it's exciting then to hear their kind of plans on what they're going to stick with. They've got big plans for Irish boxing too.
Okay. Okay. Is there
Yeah.
anything that you can reveal further with that statement that you just made with saying that they have big plans for Irish boxing and just the development and what you said just there? Can you expand on anything at all?
I don't know exactly what I can say, but what do you call it? I know they have big plans to put on a show throughout Ireland. We'll be back on Irish soil very soon. I think
I
that's
heard Belfast.
yeah. It could
Yeah.
be could well be.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think we're gonna break in there, but and then it's branching out from there.
Yeah.
You even look Anthony Kakachi winning the world title. I can
Yeah.
see. I see the obvious thing is him headlining in Belfast in the next
Yeah.
year or so. But yeah, we could be in Belfast very soon, and then
Okay.
we'll be expanding out. Look, their plans on putting shows on in Mayo, Dublin, everywhere.
Okay.
And but strong little Irish stable. I think they're happy enough with the stable they've built.
Yeah.
And they're looking to bring some good fights over. They're looking to bring some English lads over as well.
Okay.
Possibly some nice down the line, maybe the end of next year. A title fight back in Mayo over a 10 rounder.
Okay. Just talking with just the two questions just regarding to Irish people. Anthony
Hmm.
Kakache, first off, what's that like in his stable? And second question, what's it with regard to like Irish domestic fights? Because obviously we all love a domestic dust up, but would that be
Hmm.
ever in your plans at all, Owen, to ever have a domestic dust up throughout your career? Because obviously you want to know you're very,
Oh,
very young in your career so far. But yeah,
hmm.
as to those two questions.
Yeah. So what was the first one? Anthony
The
Kakachi?
Anthony Kakachi just being in your stable, and what was that like? Seeing that within the
Yeah, it
Queensberry
was good.
stable.
So, actually, I watched that fight with the two Croft brothers who are
Oh
Welsh.
wow,
So they were rooting for Joe, and I actually like Joe. Joe's one of my favorite fighters. I love Joe's style.
yeah,
But I was buzzing. I was buzzing to see Anthony. To be honest, I hadn't watched too much of Anthony before, but I was impressed with the way he came back, and I was impressed by the way he put it on Joe. But
yeah,
yeah, I was buzzing because it sets us up to have an Irish fighter with Queensberry, who's now a unified world champion.
yeah,
It sets us up in a good little setup for shows back in Ireland. I know, obviously, look, he's got mandatories now and stuff. But I'm thinking I think if they put him headlining, as long as he still has his world title belts
yeah.
back up in Belfast, I presume that'd be a massive,
Mm.
massive show.
How does the management with 265 and
258,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, 258. Sorry, I get my numbers confused. Sorry,
You're
258
okay. You're okay.
and one work.
Works well. So 258 manage me. And they're working closely with Warren on a lot of stuff out in Saudi.
Yeah,
They're working closely with him on big fights for AJ and whatnot. But we had a good relationship with both. I had a bit of a relationship with Warren and 258 kind of separate for a while, and then once everybody started meeting and we started working together, we managed to get a good deal over the line, which I'm grateful for everybody who worked on it for pushing, and they work well. They do, like, obviously 258 manage me, so I like when it comes to Warren, they're gonna look to get the best out of me, the
yeah,
best out of Warren for me. But so far, I'm happy enough. They've been doing a good job. I think the next fight is announced this week. It was supposed to be last week, but
yeah.
I was told it's announced this week. So
Okay,
we'll push on from there then. But hopefully, yeah,
okay,
it has been good. Domestic wise, you asked about domestic fights.
yeah.
Of course, nice domestic fight back in Mayo would be ideal.
Because if I'm looking at the rankings here, you have obviously you have McKenna, you have Fergus Quinn, you have Spiky, you have Declan Geraghty, Craig
Hmm.
O'Brien, Paul Ryan. The names go on and on. Will you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What would let's? I'm gonna throw out a name. Spike against Lavin. What's that sound like to you?
I don't know. I don't know what end. I think we could be on very end of opposite career. Look, I
Yeah,
know Spike's a very good friend of Anthony
yeah,
Collis, so I won't call it Spike.
yeah,
But what you got? No, look, any of them. I never know to turn down a
yeah,
tear up. I'd love to share the ring with Spike, but what you call it? I think that could be very unlikely.
yeah,
Looking that Spike is probably at the last year or so of his career,
Yeah.
and I could be along. I could be. It could be more than a year before I get to even 10 rounds. So
Yeah.
but look, I'm moving down as well. I'm moving down to super welterweight now. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
know I debuted at middleweight, but I'll be coming down to super welter, possibly even welter. We'll see how we get on at super.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd be looking to make fights at any of them weights,
Okay.
welter, super welter, middleweight.
Okay.
Where I think the way I box and the way we can adjust things, I think I can
Yeah.
adjust weight very well.
Okay.
I can move up and down weights very well.
Okay. Talk to me about your if you have a three and let's say 3 to 5 fight plan. So within the future, what are the plans for the next few fights? Because obviously, you have a big fight announcement. I don't know if you can
Mhm.
say anything right now about that fight announcement. If
Mhm.
you can say it to us, but in terms of a 5 fight plan max, what would be your optimistic targets?
I'm hoping 5 fight. Hopefully have at least 4 more in this year before
Okay.
December. So next one's end of June. I can say that much. Next one is
Okay.
end of June.
Okay.
That'll be another 4 rounder, and then hopefully move on to a 6 rounder,
Okay.
wherever it may be. Push through, hopefully 6 rounder, maybe August time. Then get another 2 6 rounders in, before December. Ideally, there could be a little opportunity to hop across over to America for a fight near the end of the
Okay.
year, depending on where we are, fight wise on the calendar. If there's a gap in the calendar of Queensberry shows, which to be honest I can't see happening. But yeah, look, next year then we'll be set up strong to move into 8 rounders, maybe
Yeah. Okay.
towards the summer. We're moving on to 8 rounders next year.
Okay.
Look, I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a
Yeah.
rush to make career at all. I'm just back from a camp out in America.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do at least one, if not 2 more camps over there this year in America.
Okay.
With Carla, of course, and next year the same. We're gonna look. I can afford to spend some time
Yeah.
traveling and
Okay.
banking that experience. So
Okay.
I'm not in any rush. Look, hopefully at the end of next year, for if and providing we are onto 10 rounders,
Yeah.
start putting a couple belts,
Okay.
something maybe just start the
Yeah.
following year. We're gonna look at blowing up through the rankings,
Okay.
and get
Okay.
as quickly as we can.
Have you trained much with AJ?
Not train with him much, no. To be fair, I've not trained massive with him. But will see. When I'm in London now, I will be. It's just since I've been in camp here in Manchester, I've been well zoned in here with
Okay.
Anthony, with Carlos, so I've been kept
Okay.
busy. But yeah, when
Okay.
I'm back down in London, I'm sure I'll
Okay.
be out to the performance centre. Yeah.
Okay. Just back to your signing. Was there ever any other deals or any talk from other promoters? That obviously the
Yeah,
obvious
yeah,
names of Matchroom of any.
yeah.
Was there any ever talk that you can say that was ever with Matchroom or?
Yeah, there was. Yeah. Made a couple of deals, couple offers off various different promoters. And a couple offers off the same promoter. I don't know, can I say too much on them? But yeah, there was definitely deals, and we were close to having deals done. But to be fair, I'm happy now with the team I've got, and in the
Okay.
end, we're all happy that we made the correct decision.
Okay.
But I've still a very good relationship with the other promoters, the other
Yeah.
promotion companies.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't say anyone made a bad deal or a bad offer.
Okay.
We had very good promising offers off everyone, but I'm happy with who we uh, who we ended up going with. Once
Okay.
I sat down with Frank
Okay.
and talked things through properly about
Okay.
plan for the next 3 4 years. Yeah, we were. It was a no
Okay.
brainer then, really.
Okay. Mayo would obviously
Hmm.
the last time that there was a fight in Mayo, it was the Once Upon a Time in the West card, March 17th. It
Uh-huh.
was on Paddy's Day, and I
Yeah.
heard it was a great card. I was in the Galway card. I was on the Galway card the night before,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't make the 17th. But anyways, but would you think the TFL could make a return maybe to
Could well be.
back to
Could well be.
boxing?
Yeah, 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 it could be. And there's a couple of different venues in Mayo that could be used. There's another one in Braithwaite. I can't remember if they had a show in Braithwaite before, but
Yeah.
look, there's good. A venue would be the least of the
Yeah.
problems. I said we can fill out the TF tomorrow if we wanted.
Yeah.
Look, I'll have wherever the next one is. I'm sure if it's on Irish soil, I'll have big support. The last fight, funny enough, I would have had, I'd say maybe 100 people extra that would have been able to come, but the date was on a bad date. It didn't suit anyone locally,
Yeah.
from around where I'm from.
Okay.
But the
Ballyhonus,
next
isn't
one,
it?
I'm from Pinford. Yeah,
Okay.
but I box in Ballyhonus. Yeah, I
Okay.
box.
Yeah.
I've always trained in
Yeah.
Ballyhonus. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm just you have a great path ahead of you, obviously, and you're covered very well with who you have in your management. But I asked this question to every single fighter, and I've asked it to promoters as well. But I'm going to ask you to, obviously, it's traditional with my own interviews. But
Okay.
describe your next fight in 3 words and what it's going to. So describe your next fight in 3 words with what it's going to bring.
I think first, performance. First of all,
Okay.
always has to be on point. Performance needs to be good. I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be loud. I think if I have a big crowd, they're going to be
Okay.
loud.
Okay.
You'll hear them make a noise. I think even Frank rarely comes to, as far as I know, the opening fight of a show. Frank was
Yeah.
there in York Hall, waiting for me ringside. Frank, I think he was blown away by looking up on the balcony, hearing how
Yeah.
loud everyone was.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be loud.
Okay.
Performance based. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be loud.
Okay. And one more.
That was very
Okay.
performance,
Oh,
exciting
okay.
and loud.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Owen, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Legend. Good man.